It has been 41 years since four women sat around a kitchen table in Miami and made the whole world laugh. But behind the cheesecake and the one-liners, three of these women are gone. One of them was secretly a United States Marine. One was actually younger than the woman she played mother to. And a 26-year-old nobody named George Clooney showed up on set one day because his agent needed him to keep his health insurance. This is what really happened to the cast of The Golden Girls. Number 1. Betty White as Rose Nyland. Long before she became America's national treasure, Betty White was just a 63-year-old actress who almost played the wrong character entirely. Rose Nyland was the soft-hearted widow from St. Olaf, Minnesota, the one who told those long, wandering stories about butter festivals and fish frying contests with total sincerity, while everyone around her tried not to laugh. And Betty played her so perfectly that it's impossible to imagine anyone else in that chair. Here's something most fans never knew. Betty was originally offered the role of Blanche Devereaux, the Southern flirt, the manhunter. Producers ultimately switched the two actresses, giving the saucy role to Rue and the innocent to Betty. One quiet casting decision changed television history. Betty White passed away on December 31st, 2021, in Los Angeles, just 17 days before her 100th birthday. Her cause of death, confirmed by her official death certificate, was a stroke. Her estimated net worth, according to Celebrity Net Worth, was $75 million. Rose Nyland never quite understood the joke, but Betty White was always in on it, and she outlasted everyone. Number 2. Bea Arthur as Dorothy Zbornak. There was nobody on television quite like Dorothy Zbornak. That slow, devastating stare. That voice that could strip paint off a wall. And Bea Arthur played her with the kind of bone-dry precision you simply cannot teach. Dorothy was the divorced substitute teacher from Brooklyn, the one holding everything together while quietly wondering why she moved to Florida in the first place. She was the backbone of the show, the voice of reason, and the best straight man in the business. But here's what most fans never knew about Bea Arthur. Before Broadway, before television, before any of it, she was a United States Marine. In February 1943, a 20-year-old Bea enlisted as one of the very first women in the Marine Corps Women's Reserve. She drove trucks. She rose to staff sergeant, and then she spent the rest of her life completely denying it ever happened. Her service records only became public in 2010, the year after her death. Bea Arthur passed away on April 25, 2009, in Los Angeles from lung cancer. She was 86. Her estimated net worth, according to Celebrity Net Worth, was $25 million. Dorothy always knew more than she let on. Turns out, so did Bea. Number 3. Rue McClanahan as Blanche Devereaux. Nobody on that show loved being Blanche more than Rue McClanahan loved playing her. Blanche Devereaux was the owner of the house, the self-appointed most desirable woman in Miami, and the one who walked into every room like she expected a standing ovation. She was vain, dramatic, and completely magnetic, and Rue played her with a wink so sharp it could cut glass. Now here's where the real story gets wild. Rue McClanahan was married 6 times. 6. She even wrote a 2007 memoir about it, titled My First 5 Husbands and the Ones Who Got Away. And she was not joking. In 1997, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and fought through 5 months of chemotherapy. Then in 2009, she underwent triple bypass heart surgery and suffered a stroke while recovering. She came back from both without missing a beat. Rue passed away on June 3, 2010, at New York Presbyterian Hospital in New York City after suffering a brain hemorrhage. She was 76 years old. Her estimated net worth, according to Celebrity Net Worth, was $5 million. Blanche Devereaux never met a man she couldn't charm. But Rue McClanahan's real life, 6 marriages, cancer, a bypass, and a stroke, made Blanche's drama look like a quiet Tuesday afternoon. Number 4. Estelle Getty as Sophia Petrillo. Sophia Petrillo was the sharp-tongued Sicilian grandmother who said whatever she was thinking whenever she felt like it, and somehow got away with every word. She was tiny, fearless, and funnier than anyone else in the room. The audience adored her, and Estelle Getty played every single moment of it in full theatrical disguise. Here's the part that blows most people's minds. Estelle Getty was actually 1 year younger than Bea Arthur, the woman she played the mother of. She was not an elderly woman. She sat in that makeup chair before every shoot and transformed herself into someone decades older, with wigs, wrinkles, and careful costuming. Nobody questioned it for 7 seasons. That is one of the greatest quiet acting deceptions in sitcom history. What viewers never saw coming was how cruel the ending was. Getty retired from acting in 2001 as her health began to fail. She was later diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, a condition that robbed her of her memory and her ability to recognize the people she loved. Estelle Getty passed away on July 22, 2008, at her home in Los Angeles, just 3 days before her 85th birthday. Her estimated net worth, her celebrity net worth, was $8 million. Sophia always had the last word, but the woman behind her spent her final years in silence. And that is the part nobody who loved this show ever quite gets over. Number 5. Herb Edelman as Stan Zbornak. Every sitcom needs a great villain, and Stan Zbornak was the best kind. Not evil, just completely, hopelessly useless. He was the ex-husband who walked out on Dorothy after 38 years of marriage for a young flight attendant, and then spent every episode showing up at the front door needing something. Herb Edelman played him with a big goofy grin and absolutely zero self-awareness. And that's what made Stan so watchable. You hated him and couldn't take your eyes off him at the same time. But here's what most fans never knew about Herb. Before Hollywood, this man had lived 3 different lives. He studied veterinary medicine at Cornell University, then dropped out. He drove a taxi cab. He enlisted in the U.S. Army and worked as an announcer for Armed Forces Radio. And he was fluent in 8 languages. Not 2, not 3, 8. The man playing television's biggest underachiever was quietly one of the most educated people on set. Herb Edelman passed away on July 21, 1996, in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles, from emphysema. He was only 62 years old. Stan Zbornak never deserved Dorothy, and Hollywood never quite gave Herb Edelman everything he deserved either. But the character he left behind still gets laughs today. Number 6. Harold Gould as Miles Weber. If you ever wondered what it looked like when Rose Nyland finally found someone worthy of her, it was Miles Weber. He was patient, kind, and genuinely delighted by Rose in a way that felt completely real. Harold Gould played him with such warmth and quiet dignity that you found yourself rooting for the couple every single time he walked through the door. What most viewers never realized was just how extraordinary the man behind Miles actually was. Harold Gould earned a Ph.D. in theater from Cornell University. Before that, he saw combat in France during World War II as part of a chemical mortar battalion. He developed trench foot in the field and had to be sent back to England to recover. Then he went back. He spent nearly 50 years in the industry, appearing in over 300 television shows, 20 films, and more than 100 stage plays. He was nominated for 5 Emmy Awards. He was married to the same woman, Leah, for 60 years. Harold Gould passed away on September 11, 2010, from prostate cancer. He was 86 years old. Miles Weber was the steady, dependable man Rose always deserved. And Harold Gould, soldier, scholar, and quiet career professional, was exactly that kind of man in real life, too. Number 7. Sid Melton as Salvatore Petrillo. Most characters on The Golden Girls were alive and talking back. Sal Petrillo was neither. He existed entirely in flashbacks, in Sophia's memories, in the story she told about the life they had built together in Brooklyn before everything changed. And yet somehow, every time Sal appeared on screen, even for just a few minutes, the whole show got a little warmer. Sid Melton brought him to life across 6 flashback episodes, playing the devoted Sicilian husband with a gambler's grin and a genuine tenderness that made Sophia's grief feel completely real. What most viewers never knew was just how long this man had been working. Sid Melton's career spanned nearly 60 years in Hollywood. He appeared in over 140 film and television projects. He entertained American soldiers overseas during World War II. His own father was a comedian in the Yiddish theater. Show business was literally in his blood. Sid Melton passed away on November 2nd, 2011, in Burbank, California. He was 94 years old. Sal Petrillo never made it past the flashbacks, but the man who played him quietly outlived almost everyone else on this list. Number 8. Kristy McNichol as Barbara Weston. The Golden Girls was so popular that NBC built an entire spin-off around its world. That show was Empty Nest, and its breakout star was a young actress named Kristy McNichol, who played Barbara Weston, a sharp and spirited police officer with more personality than the whole precinct combined. At her peak, Kristy McNichol was one of the most recognizable young actresses in America. 2 Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe nomination, a film career that had audiences genuinely excited about what came next. And then, without any warning, she was gone. In 1992, midway through season 5 of Empty Nest, Kristy quietly disappeared from the show. No farewell episode, no explanation given at the time. It took nearly a decade before she broke her silence, confirming she had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and had no choice but to step away. She retired from acting officially in 2001. In 2012, she came out publicly as a lesbian, saying she hoped it would help young people being bullied. As of 2026, Kristy McNichol is 63 years old and has been living a private, peaceful life in Los Angeles for years, teaching acting at a private school and largely staying out of the spotlight. Barbara Weston was tough enough to handle anything the streets threw at her. It turns out Kristy McNichol needed that same toughness just to survive her own story. Number 9. Dina Manoff as Carol Weston. Not everyone on this list came from the Golden Girls itself. Carol Weston lived just down the street. She was the daughter of the widowed Dr. Harry Weston in the spin-off series Empty Nest, a show born directly out of the Golden Girls universe. And Dina Manoff played her across all 7 seasons with a nervous, high-strung energy that was impossible not to watch. What most people never knew was how decorated this woman already was before she ever set foot in that house. Dina Manoff won a Tony Award on Broadway in 1980. She appeared in the original Grease. She was in the Oscar-winning film Ordinary People. She was in Child's Play. She had a Hollywood resume that most actors spend their whole careers dreaming about. But here's the part that stops you cold. In January 2017, Dina's 19-year-old son Dashiell was killed in a car accident in Washington state while riding back to college. He was a passenger. He had just turned 19 a few months earlier. As of 2026, Dina Manoff is 70 years old. She has largely stepped away from the spotlight and lives quietly in Bainbridge Island, Washington. Carol Weston worried about everything. It turns out real life gave Dina Manoff far more to carry than any sitcom ever could. Number 10. George Clooney as Detective Bobby Hopkins. Most people watching The Golden Girls in 1987 had absolutely no idea who the young cop staking out the neighbors was. He had one episode, one scene, barely any lines. His name in the credits was Detective Bobby Hopkins. His real name was George Clooney. He was 26 years old, and the only reason he was there was because his agent had called the producers and asked if George could have a guest role so he could keep his health insurance. That is the actual story. No grand plan, no big break strategy, just a young actor who needed to stay covered. 2 years later, he was on ER. After that, Ocean's 11. After that, 2 Academy Awards and a career most actors do not even dare to imagine. George Clooney later said about his one day on that Miami set, "When you were a young actor, you just want a job. I got a call saying, 'Do you want to do The Golden Girls?' And I said, 'Are you kidding me?' I got to work with Bea Arthur and Betty White. That was the time of my life." In 2026, George Clooney is 64 years old, one of the most respected figures in Hollywood, and still talking warmly about the day 4 older women in Miami gave him a job he desperately needed. Detective Bobby Hopkins had one episode. George Clooney had the rest of history. Number 11. Leslie Nielsen as Lucas Hollingsworth. Most people know Leslie Nielsen as Frank Drebin, the bumbling detective from Naked Gun, the man from Airplane who told the world he was serious and not to call him Shirley. What most fans never realized is that he also gave The Golden Girls its perfect ending. In the show's 2-part series finale in 1992, Leslie Nielsen played Lucas Hollingsworth, a Southern gentleman who walked through the door as Blanche's uncle and walked out as Dorothy's husband. It was 2 episodes. It was a small role by any measure, but he brought so much warmth and quiet charm to it that Dorothy's final chapter felt completely earned. Off-screen, Nielsen was legally deaf his entire adult life and wore hearing aids throughout his career. He never made a fuss about it. He just kept working. Leslie Nielsen passed away on November 28, 2010, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, from complications from pneumonia. He was 84 years old. His estimated net worth, according to Celebrity Net Worth, was $10 million. Lucas Hollingsworth gave Dorothy the happy ending she always deserved. And Leslie Nielsen, quietly and without any fanfare, gave us one last reason to smile.